I've started traveling with surfboard and skate from Gold Coast, which is a new thing on my world cycling trip. Byron Bay's iconic sign is cheer up, slow down, chill out. Byron Bay is called most hippie town. I've stayed only one night in Byron Bay when I cycled from Sydney to Gold Coast 1 year ago, but I could feel the unique atmosphere for that short period even. So at this time, I wanted to rent a room for a month to enjoy surfing and learning about local people's life. But there was a rental crisis that even local people couldn't find a house to live in. So I just stayed for a week at the hostel. At least there was a wave I could enjoy. By bicycle, the surfing beach was 10 minutes away. But due to holiday season and good quality of waves, it was always full of people. Surfing has a rule that you must not take the wave someone is on. Always good waves were taken by advanced surfer in Byron Bay that I played with the little waves. Anyway, I enjoyed it. There was a lot of seaweed at Byron Bay Beach, but on this day, the water was quite clear. In Gold Coast, I've never seen seaweed while surfing for 1 year though. So I got the question to surf on this trip. Is Gold Coast has the best surfing spot for clear water and good quality of waves in Australia? I would keep cycling to Sydney to answer my question. To cycle with a long board is too big and heavy, so I just bought a short board for this trip. Learning a short board is quite hard, but it's still fun to have a little wave. There are lots of failure in surfing, probably the most frustrating sports. But it's the most addictive sport that I went back to trying as soon as I failed. I can't express this amazing feeling of taking wave. Especially when I have an unbroken wave. It makes me so excited. It was time to leave Byron Bay, such a relaxing town. Someone told me there was a very special skating place at Byron Bay, and it was just right people leaving the town. It looked so special, so I tried with my surf skate, and I've learned quickly this is too dangerous for my level. So I found another skate park for my level. I can skate only at flat places. Surf skate is so fun that I can cruise like surf. I told you, I can only skate on flat ground. This time I would check Lennox Head for surfing beach as this was a famous place for surfing. One reason why it's difficult to improve surfing skill is that you can surf at only certain waves. Look, even a dog knows it's a bad wave. Anyway, it was a hot day, so I just decided to try a little wave. One wave was enough to try at this bad wind for surfing. The scenery was so beautiful on the way out of Lennox Head. I remember this ferry which I took 1 year ago, and I'm cycling exactly the same road I've taken before at this part. One of the things I don't like on my world tour is to cycle back to the place where I've come from. But due to COVID, it's limited to travel overseas. At least I found a fun way to travel with a surfboard. Just 5 kilometers before my destination, it started to rain. I would arrive at my destination soon, so I didn't wear a waterproof jacket. But it rained harder. I didn't want to stop to look for my waterproof jacket, and if I opened the bag, the rain would all come inside. My speed was quite fast that I decided to keep cycling without stopping. Oh well, it rained heavily and all my clothes were totally wet. On my world cycling tour, I've learned that I'm too weak in front of the nature. This 20 minutes of heavy rain made my situation bad enough already. People have asked me what to do if it rains. What do you do in this situation? Just cycling. Also, I keep saying to myself, it'll be alright. Finally, here I arrived at free camping site where I stayed last time. It was an Italian museum with a cafe, and they provide a free camping site with the donations. Here is another answer. What to do if it rains? Stop and wait if there's a roof. I started setting tent when the rain became lighter. I always like to check the ground if it's flat. I can't sleep well if it's leaning. It's not a good feeling to wear wet clothes. I wanted to set up tent as soon as possible to change the clothes. I get this tent from a friend in 2014 when he was about to throw it away. I like to take things people throw away if it's useful. It has been 8 years since I used this tent, and I've fixed it several times. I keep old stuff if I like it and if I can fix it. This tent is still so useful that I'll use it until I finish this trip. It's quite tiring to prepare the food after cycling through heavy rain, but I'll cook something because I already bought the chicken. Don't trust the food which doesn't have a nicely cut vegetable. I'm not sure what should I call this food. The most important thing is that there's no poison in this food. It's safe to eat. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. These days, I love to start my morning with coffee. Today is Christmas Eve. My friend in Gold Coast introduced me to her friend in Yamba, the next town. But they are going to Gold Coast for Christmas. I never met them, but they left a key kindly to let me stay at their house until they came back for a few days. It's always scary to see steep uphill from far away, but often it's nothing once I get on the top of a hill. And yeah, downhill is always fun. But actually, surfing waves is more fun than cycling downhill. Now, can you imagine how much surfing is fun? The state of New South Wales designed the highway very well for cyclists. The next state, Queensland, banned cyclists on highway though. There was a surprising gift when I arrived at Yamba that I felt so grateful. When I was looking for their house, their neighbor helped me and then kindly invited me to Christmas lunch. Australians eat prawn at Christmas and it's my third time to have it. I can't imagine Christmas without prawns in Australia. This dessert was the best. In the late afternoon after Christmas lunch, I went to the beach to surf. I love to surf at sunset, but usually good waves are only in the morning. This little wave was anyway fun. This town was such a beautiful place. I've checked a few beaches and I decided to surf at this beach at the next day. I'm struggling to duck dive. To go under wave is very important but very difficult. One of the reasons I bought a shortboard is I wanted to do duck dive. Duck dive is only possible with a shortboard. I even named my board as Ducky because it's my dream to go under the waves perfectly. When the waves are steep, I feel so dangerous to pop up that I just throw away my board for my safety if no one is around. It was a good wave for me, but I lost balance and fell off. Too late. What are you doing? I don't like this kind of washout, push by wave. It's like being trapped in a wave, but the water was not deep enough that it was okay. Failing is horrible, but you can't feel horrible under this beautiful sky. Let's try again. It looked horribly beginner. Most important thing is that I had fun. That's enough. After a few days, I met my host family. They sail around the world, so I had so much fun chatting with them. They showed me a big wave place. This was such a difficult level. Some of them must have learned surfing since they were kids. I've just learned surfing recently in my 30s and I'm just proud of myself for it though. I went to a different beach to surf with my host family. This place was still quite rough, but there's a very fun thing that I usually don't miss my first wave even if it's big for my level. This wave was crazy fun. I look like I'm dancing. I don't know it's normal though. But anyway, the most important thing is having fun. Good waves always makes me smile. After the first wave, I'm out of this place as it's too rough to even duck dive. I moved to the next beach, which is easier, but still I couldn't catch it, and my host helped me. His pushing was really helpful, which I didn't expect, so I just fell off with a shocking, "I can't believe I'm having a perfect unbroken wave!" After the first wave, I couldn't catch any waves. This is a funny sport. Most of the time you fail, but still it's fun. After saying goodbye to my host family, I'm on the road again. I love this quiet road. There was no fence, so I kept checking the camping spot, but I couldn't find the right place. I ended up in a small town. I don't need an alarm in Australia, because the bird will wake me up. These birds were very quiet. It can be very loud with cockatoos. I usually don't set up my tent in an open place, but I could feel this was a safe place. Some gentlemen greeted me kindly when I prepared to leave. In one big city, I slept in some forest next to play field last year. Someone was angry at me or aggressive when I was about to leave in the morning. This small village has a totally opposite reaction. I feel small villages are easy and safe. Also, people are friendlier. I don't like camping near big cities. My morning started with a coffee. While waiting for coffee, I just had a little fun with my surf skate. Today, I'm going to that big city where someone was angry at me over night camping. But I didn't need to camp there because I had a host this time. I found this beautiful house just right before arriving at my host's house. I went kayaking with my host and I realized after I learned how to surf, I don't like kayaking nor stand-up paddleboard. I like to paddle with my arms, feel the waves on my surfboard. I went surfing with my host. The waves were not that good, and my surfing skill was not that good either. But it was good to have time together with my host on the last day of the year. I was so grateful to be invited on the last day of the year. We watched fireworks from far. It reminded me of New Year fireworks in Sydney and Dubai on my trip. One time I spent New Year Eve on the airplane when I flew from Brazil to South Africa. Life is about having memories as much as you can. That's why many people love traveling, because it gives more special memories. It was the first day of the year. I love the first day of the year so much. I feel like I can do anything. It's so refreshing. We checked a few surfing spots in the morning. It was a bit of dumpy wave that we chose different places. This place was a bit rough. The wave was so strong that it broke my GoPro mount on the surfboard. After I left the big city, I looked for a place to camp. This place looked very easy. There was a very famous surfing spot, but the camping site was fully booked for the next 3 weeks. Yes, it's the holiday season and everywhere is too busy because people can't travel overseas. Also, the weather was not that good, so I decided not to go there. I don't think the place would have similar wave I had in Gold Coast. Also, I don't like camping site much because it's too noisy and too packed without privacy. This forest was way better. Only problem was mosquitoes and uneven ground. Tonight my cooking looked so perfect. I was about to make the pasta. Then here the problem goes. I cooked too much pasta. My brain is usually broken after cycling hard. Like, I must cook more, I must eat more. And usually it ruins the food. I was so grateful to have my own time here in the forest alone. I've stayed at the hostel in the city for a week due to bad weather. There were no dolphins, which I saw last year a lot. I didn't get a chance to surf here. The weather got only better when I was about to leave. Around the sunset time, I just bought some food to eat in front of the grocery store. Then someone talked to me and asked about my trip. Then suddenly she invited me to her family house for a night. I was just looking around the town while she was grocery shopping. What a lucky day! Hooray! She had 3 kids with her husband and they were very friendly and kind. Being invited on the street is not common, so I appreciate so much when it happens. Next morning, I saw someone cycling with a surfboard. I asked where surfing spot was, and this was a place he took. The wave was just so. I would have a long day today that I'll just keep cycling. Last year, some couple invited me through my Facebook page. I've stayed only a couple of days. I've kept in touch with them and they were very nice that when I fell down last year, they kept saying I'm welcome to stay at their house. Here, I was passing their town again. Rhonda came to welcome me with her bike around her town. There was an amazing sunset. Tom was welcoming me in front of their house. He was always funny. Oh, it was a long day.
Keep going, you're right. It's only Rhonda's car.
Okay. We had an Aussie night. What is this, mate?
Aussie sizzling lamb, mate. Have a look at what Aussie sizzling lamb looks like. Oh, mate.
Wow. Look at the color.
How about that, mate?
Good. We had some Korean nights. First time to making this nice looking food. When I follow the recipe, usually it's okay.
It's a Korean traditional thing.
We went hiking and saw waterfalls. Rhonda taught me about how to go when you meet someone on bushwalking. I've done this so many times that her daughter didn't answer me after calling 100 times.
Oi! Come on, you're supposed to call. Oi!
Always fun to learn some local things. There was some surfing beach and we cycled often in the morning together. Main beach was too dangerous for me with big seaweed, rocks and cold water. I just came out after 10 minutes. This beach didn't have good waves, but better than nothing. Rhonda took the video for me thankfully. Finally, I have some surfing videos with a normal camera. So far, I have not seen a wave like Gold Coast, which I love. But it was fun to have different memories. Most of the fun part is just being out there on the water and the road. Sydney is not that far from here. I will see if there's a good surfing beach along the way.
Cooked by internationally renowned chef Thomas McCone. At the Old Bar Restaurant.
Looks amazing.
It's nice.
Especially for Jen.
Thank you.